Well, the, it was more than 100. It was almost, I think the crowds were 195,000, the biggest outdoor shows ever. It was not a safe event. It was horrible. We didn't think we were getting out of there. Flair was losing it. The things that they wanted Rick to do as our spokesman, I mean, he say North Korea is the greatest country in the world, they're a nuclear power. Americans afraid of North Korea. It just was unbelievable. But it was insane. Everywhere you went, the military is following you. There was nobody's. The rooms that we stayed in, when you opened the door, nobody's in that room for years. You could tell it was just terrible. It was like a ghost town. I don't even know how to explain. When we landed in North Korea, they flew a plane to Narita, Japan, to pick us up. This plane was in such bad shape, it was unbelievable. Muhammad Ali and his publicist was sitting in front of me and Hawk behind him. This plane was rattling. I thought it was just we were to crash. The service on the plane, there was none. There was the pilot. There wasn't no crew. There was a server, but I mean it wasn't like going out of the airport. When they landed the plane, they parked it sideways on the runway when it stopped. Then these vehicles came out and got us, and they brought us to the airport. We go into their airport, you could tell nobody was in there for years. There was so much dust in these rooms they're walking through. It was insane. Then we hopped in these little pea green Mercedes-Benz. And they take us to this hotel, and then you're there. It was just... But the military, I just remember, they were just on you. If they wanted to talk to you, if they asked something of you, they'd walk over you and they'd grab you, they'd pull you, and just start, they'd like rough you up, and they'd just take you someplace. Try to, anyways. And I remember pulling away from the guy, and I said, what's your problem, man? And I mean, they were all armed up, weaponed up, and it was nuts. It was crazy. And to say that it was no safe haven.
Definitely seems like it'd be kind of scary just for the fact, all the things you're mentioning about North Korea. Plus, you guys are kind of over there, and I know it's for a peace festival and all this other thing, but you're kind of just going over there right because Inoki had a good relationship with them, not really for any other reason than really Inoki, correct?
Yeah, but I don't. This is my personal belief. If Muhammad Ali wasn't there, I don't think we'd have came back. I mean, they didn't know what to expect what to expect from us, and we definitely had no idea what to expect from them. I was newly married, and I was trying to call home my wife for like 3 days. The elevators didn't work in this hotel. To make a phone call, you had to go down in the basement, the operator, make the call, then you had to run back to your room. You hear the phone ringing when you're coming down the hall, but by the time you get to the phone, they cut you off. So I'm trying to get in touch with my wife for 3 days. And I mean, I'm just doing it, I know she's flipping out. I'm in a foreign country, crazy-ass country I'm in. So anyways, I finally get through. And they finally let me get through. It was insane. So anyways, I'm talking to my wife, and the first thing she does is get upset with me because I haven't called her in 3 days. And she accused me of going out partying and kind of abusing the relationship. I said, Tammy, you don't understand. I said, that's not even near that. And she's mad. And I said, babe, you don't understand what kind of shithole we're in here. The phone cuts off. Boom. I thought you hung up on me. And I'm just sitting there. That's what hung up on me? And about 15 seconds later, I get this blast on my door. Boom, boom, boom. opened the door up, and here's 4 or 5 guys with weapons and this military guy, and they took me out of my room. And they had rifles. I mean, it was just crazy. They take me downstairs. I walk right past the operator, and we were trying to make this phone call from. And we go down this hallway, and it's like now it's a tunnel. You know, I mean, it's underground. I mean, I know this. And we walked further than the hotel would have been. So, I mean, we're on, you know, I'm just going like, this is a tunnel to another building. I don't know where the hell we're going. Also, they put me in this room. And this guy comes in the room, and he starts talking to me, and he says, you can't say that about North Korea. He's madder than hell at me. And I says, man, I was in an argument with my wife. She thinks I'm out partying. I'm trying to get a hold of you. You guys won't let me, you know, I'm mad now. Kind of back and forth. And he says, we don't argue with our wives. And he's just getting madder and hell at me. And then all of a sudden these other people come in the room. And this one guy, he is just looking at me like, just shoot this prick. Leave him here. It don't even matter, you know. And that's, finally, I'm sitting there, you know, I'm really starting to freak out. I mean, they got all this military guys there. And they're talking to me, and I'm just trying to explain to them, you know, that's how we talk in the United States. We just sort of say, you know, I mean, I didn't mean it, which I did mean it. You know, at that point in time, you're freaking out. So finally, they bring me back to my room. They told me, no more phone calls. You don't speak nothing bad about North Korea. I mean, they were just browbeating the hell out of me. So Hawk's room's right next door to mine, and the Tory's down a little bit further. So I go to Hawk's room. I tell Hawk. He and I go over to Tory's room, and I tell Tory, I said, man, they just, you know, I mean, I thought they were going to kill me. He says, you can't do that stuff. You got to be very quiet. Don't, you know, don't talk in the room, nothing. And I'm just going, this is nuts. And the whole time, now Flair, he's crazy. He wouldn't get more than 10 feet away from me or Scott Stein, and we're out in public, you know, when they were taking us to the matches, or, I mean, he rode over with me to the matches when we're going to the first night. And I don't blame them, because, I mean, they were putting pressure on Rick. It was unbelievable. But it was absolutely the craziest thing I've ever done and ever been a part of. You know what happened to this Warmberg kid that took the poster and they tortured him, ended up killing him?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's so believable. So, I mean, after what we saw there, the way they treat their people, the way they starve their people, their living conditions are absolute hell. You drive by, not a few, but hundreds of buildings that are the same gray concrete buildings with these little windows in, and they're about 6 stories high. There's no grass, and they're just hundreds of these buildings, and this is where they live. And I remember Rick and I, we were going to the show the first night, and we're driving, and it's like a 3-lane highway going both ways, so it's like 6 lanes wide. And there's nothing but people on these highways except for the right-hand lane where we're at, just driving slow. And I says, Rick, look at these people. I mean, this is unbelievable how many people are coming for the show. I said, I can't believe we're driving like this here. Then the limo driver says to me, excuse me. And I said, yeah. He says, is it okay if I speak to you? I said, yeah. I mean, God, you speak English, please. He says, what do you mean by draw? People come to see us. I didn't know that they would be this excited to come to see us. He says, they're not excited. If they don't show up, they get bullet in the head. They get shot in the head. Forced in the head, God. He said. And I just went, well. And then Rick just went, oh, my God. Because, I mean, they were on Rick. They wanted him to do, like, a State of the Union speech to their country. You know, and I mean, they're really on him, you know, and I mean, it was a big deal. So, yeah, and it was crazy. It was difficult, but if Muhammad Ali wouldn't have been there, I think we'd have been in a big lot of trouble. Because, like me getting argued with my wife, it wasn't good. I just don't think that there's people in prison over there for a lot less. Somebody calling that country a shithole, I honestly think that, the way that regime handles itself, they just, killed them. That's just my opinion.